How well do you know your neighbours? Maybe the swingers next door are actually accountants. And maybe that dog that's been fouling your front porch for the last 12 years every single night is actually sweet old Mrs. Plumridge at number 10. I remember as a young boy discovering that one of my neighbours enjoyed washing up topless every Sunday morning. The ensuing hours that I and the neighbourhood boys sat there basking in this wonderful spectacle were a poet's dream, until one of the more astute among us realised that our Venus was actually a fat Geordie named Kevin. But nevertheless, you never can tell what your neighbours are really up to. Case in point, Mary East in the 1700s. Now Mary was a normal girl. She had a boyfriend, and like many of your ex-lovers, this guy enjoyed dressing up in masks and making strange demands. But he had an excuse because he was a highwayman. Now this guy's career as a highwayman was cut short, as they generally are, and Mary East vowed at that point never to love another man again. So she loved a woman instead. She shacked up with another young girl, and they decided between them that the best way for their love to truly blossom was for one of them to dress up like a man. So on the flip of a coin, Mary East became James Howe, and from that point on, for the next 34 years, lived as a man with her female lover. Now they bought a pub out in Epping, and it was run quite well until an altercation with one of the customers, and Mary/James lost the use of one of her hands and got a payout, and then moved to Limehouse where they bought another pub. Now they were quite good at the pub game, so over years they amassed a small amount of money, and then they moved on to Poplar where they bought a pub called the White Horse, which you can still see today, a white horse statue in the area where they had their pub. Now one dark and stormy night, a lady turned up out of the blue, and she recognised James Howe, and as the cogs were turning in her head, the penny dropped. "You're Mary East," she said, because she was from the same village as Mary had come from. Now remember, at that time, if you were in a homosexual relationship, you had big trouble in your hands. So she decided, "I'm going to blackmail you," and she blackmailed Mary and her partner for years and years, until eventually Mary had enough, and it went to court. She charged her with blackmail. And James Howe turned up at court as Mary East, and of course the shock amongst town was electric. Now the case got adjourned, and during that time Mary sold up the White Horse and disappeared from the East End forever. Some tell tales, others rhyme, but I sing songs from the Howling Sea.
If you're wondering what on earth you just witnessed, you've been watching a video from the Songs from the Howling Sea podcast. Each week I release a song and a video about a person or a subject from London's East End. 52 songs in 52 weeks. For more, visit www.songsfromthehowlingsea.com.